Yes, you can start now.
All right, Basra, thank you very much. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And good evening to one and all. I welcome you all to the Techno Show, one of the biggest coding competition. Dear audience, we are coming out live from our Techno Show headquarters. This is your host, Asjad Ansari. Today we have with us a digital design consultant, Mr. Sadiq Hussain. Welcome on board, Mr. Sadiq.
Assalamualaikum. Yes, how are you, Azja?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine. Alhamdulillah, Mr. Sadiq. How about you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine.
All right. So before we commence our interview, I'll have to introduce Mr. Sadiq Hussain. Mr. Sadiq has worked as a consultant at Plexus to develop their manual for startups and manage their startup incubator UX mentor for the Startups of FinTech Hackathon Accelerator, and also as the UX mentor for the Startups of Application World Touch Hackathon Accelerator and DevFast Hackathon 2019. He also participated at Startup Weekend by Techstars Jeddah hackathon for the project called Jam in 2018, an organizer at Startup Grind Jeddah, Facebook Dev Circle Jeddah, and Google Developers Group Jeddah. So, Mr. Sadiq, could you please share with us a little bit of your background?
I started my career after I did my bachelor's in computer applications from India, from Hyderabad. And started working as a Java developer. We had an enterprise application portal. I was working for a company which worked for the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah. And at that time, e-government was really happening in Saudi Arabia, and everything was happening on a web-based application or a portal, as you call them. So I had worked on all facets of it at the back end, where the database is, on the reporting side, on the dashboard, and all of these things. So I got a very good hold of how enterprise applications work and how making things what do you call scalable and all of that. After that, I started working in one of the most popular newspapers in Saudi Arabia, that is the Saudi Gazette. I was handling their web and social media. Um, I was heading the team of 4 people there, and I can say because at that time things were really uh, growing in the social media and web. I got the chance to make Saudi Gazette a very popular online brand. And while I was in Saudi Gazette, I fell in love with fonts and colors and Pantone and layouts. And I understood that digital products need to be made into a very good way so that the people understand them. Azad, I can give you an example. You go to McDonald's, right, Azad? Do you go to McDonald's?
Yes, Mr. Sadiq.
How how long does it take for you to decide what you want to buy? How many seconds?
I would say about 30 seconds.
30
30
seconds?
seconds.
I think 30 seconds is very it's a long time.
I know. We
Yeah,
take time to go to the menu, you know.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Once you walk in McDonald's, I'm not trying to talk about the brand. Once you walk into these kind of outlets, they make
Mhm.
they make you decide what you want to order because of those communications, because of those screens and all of that. That is called user experience, and you cherish that thing. Once you walk inside, you say that, okay, I want to buy this. So you build a lot of things which are online, but you cannot make a decision if it's not presented in the right way. For example, I use Dropbox. You use Dropbox, right? uh, the online storage facility, but you never call them. You don't need to call them. So there is a science behind it. So I fell in love with user friendliness, ergonomics, and everything related to the ease of use of digital products. So that is my journey, and I'm still really interested in that.
Wow. Thank you for sharing your splendid background and sharing your outside of all your achievements that you have made so far and all your wonderful experiences. My second question for you is what motivates you and what are your ideals, Mr. Sadiq?
I can say I don't want to say Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg or Steve Jobs. I don't want to say that. I think people who take think about tech in a different way. You have a lot of people who are changing farming through tech, are changing the environment through tech, are doing small things and making a dent in this universe. I think these people or these things really inspire me. And I like the way of lean mentality. I don't want tech to be really luxurious, expensive, inaccessible. I want tech to be really simple, free. You have so many things. I am a huge advocate of open source. I love open source. I mean, everything you, I think if you provide tools, all the tools and skills to a normal person, I think he would do much better with tech. So this is what inspires me. Anything new in or advance in the open source community really inspires me.
Mashallah, Tabarakallah. I, I can see how motivated you are, and I'm also fancy your ideals that you have shared right now. And next question is, what is STEM education and why do you think it is important for this generation?
um, the way we got educated was different. I mean, now it's all science, technology, engineering, mathematics. I think it's a very uh, coherent way of imparting education for students. Um, there are so many things we learned when we were kids, but we don't know how to apply them. I think STEM really solves that problem. So I think it has a very good future. And I think what we should do is that whenever we are imparting education to our students, we should give them real world examples, problem solving skills. I think that is a very good way that STEM imparts education. That is what I think.
All right. Thank you for giving a little intro about STEM education and the importance of STEM for the current generation. Now, the second question relating to STEM is what are the skills that STEM teaches and is there future in it?
One skill that I really like is that STEM has engineering. I don't know what level of engineering they teach, and I have gone through the courses, uh, just browsed through them. I think it's a very good way to like impart industrial education to them in a different way. I don't know much about the way the curriculum is made, but I think their approach is different from the usual curriculum, which is now there in the market, and and the other academic curriculums which we studied. I mean, for example, so I think they have a very good approach.
All right. So so I can see that the coming generation will be convinced to go for STEM education in, in this regard. So how can kids benefit through learning coding in the early years?
I am all pro for um, coding. Coding does not just uh, s- teaches you technology. it teaches you logic. It helps you understand. It is a way of solving a problem in a rational way. People think that coding, the way you describe coding, is related to a technology. It could be Python, it could be .NET, it could be Java, it could be the new JavaScript technologies like React or Flutter or Kotlin, whatever. But more than these languages, it it explains how you logically solve a problem. So I think kids should learn coding from the beginning, third standard or fourth standard. I think it's a good way for them for them to learn how to make small games, to do some logical solutions or something like that. And once you like progress further, you will understand any language in a very different way, in a different uh, you will understand the science behind that language. You will understand the science behind problem solving. I don't think that only kids should learn coding. Even people who have not learned coding, I mean, they could be mothers, they could be grandmothers who have not learned computer programming or computer coding, they should also learn coding, because it makes you really understand logic. It's a very good way to understand rational thinking, problem solving.
Wow. Thank you for your brief and concrete explanations, Mr. Sadiq. These days, we see that coding is really important when it comes to artificial intelligence and machine learning and deep learning and so on and so forth. So now moving on to the next question. Do you think education will take a back seat in an age of internet and technology?
I don't think so. Education will not take a backseat. The channels of education will be diversified, and the mediums of education will be different. Uh, uh, People usually ask me this question, that will do you think that AI will take over our jobs, or is it going to hurt the market? Uh, I think this was the question when industrial revolution was happening back in those days, and people were asking that will machines take over people's jobs? Yes and no. Machines have really perfected manufacturing and production, but the creativity and the what do you call the humans have this ability to create things. And learning any technology, it could be coding, or it could be anything related to later on to AI or what. I think humans will never stop learning stuff. Education will have a different aspect in the future. It could be online, it could be offline, it could be through AI, it could be remote education, where you get physical, where you what do you call teleport yourself and learn something like that. I'm just imagining. I'm a huge fan of sci-fi, so education will always be there, but in different forms.
All right. Yes, Mr. Sadiq, I totally agree with you for the fact that education will never take a backseat in the age of internet and technology, but rather it would be present in another form, using the form of technology or internet. So that's all about it. So, Mr. Sadiq, as we know that the Techno Show competition will be held tomorrow, so the question concerning Techno Show is, the idea behind the Techno Show is to promote the importance in young generation. What would you like to say about our virtual event being held tomorrow, the 16th of January, 2021?
I think it's a very good initiative, especially to engage students, especially children, in technology. There are so many kinds of initiatives happening all over the world, maybe in the US or the UK or all over places. But I think in Jeddah, this is one of its kind, and it's a good thing, and it's a very good way for your kids to show and tell about technology. And I would love my kids to participate in this. Uh, and I think everybody's a winner. I don't want our participants to feel bad if they don't win. And every time they'll learn stuff. Uh, I would love to have children's hackathons related to any technology. That would be a really good thing.
All right. So thank you for your inspiring and motivational message for all the children and all the coming generation in regards of participating in Techno Show and other programming competitions or hack or even hackathons. Now, last but not the least, what do you have to say to children out there who dream big?
Don't stop. Don't stop to dream. And the more crazy your dream is, the more impossible your dream is, the more money making it will be. Why? I think, I mean, if you think of creating colonies in Mars, just dream it, just make it happen. I think but you should be logical and rational in the way to approach it. And I would suggest or advise children to make anything, a project or a business or whatever, to make this place a better place to live. It should be environment friendly. It should help humanity or something like that. And it should not, the motive should not be just making money, although it will become a revenue generating project. But you should start with a problem, try to solve it, and then it becomes a dream by itself, a project by itself. That's all.
All right, mashallah tabarakallah. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Sadiq. And it was a pleasure having you in today's interview on Friday, the January 15th, 2021.
You're welcome.
So inshallah, I wish all the young participants of Techno Show competition all the best and good luck for their competition, and may the winner get selected. And as you said, by the end of the day, we're all winners, but at times we need to choose the winner simply because he or she deserves the best.
Yes.
So with this, I would like to hand over the podium to our coordinator of Free e-learning solutions, Ms. Farah Ubaid. Over to you.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Azrad and Mr. Sadek, for the wonderful talk. And it was nice having you. Thank you for accepting the invitation, Mr. Sadek, and coming over, and for sharing your experiences, and for, mashallah, you've done so much. A lot of experience we can see, and inshallah, we would like to have you in the panel to for our children, for the guidance of our children. We will be contacting you again and again. Thank you so much.
It would be my pleasure. Thank you again for giving me
Okay,
this.
thank you so much.